101.1 HRT AFM, Roatan, Honduras, Blue Wave Radio. Now it's time for the Roatan Real Estate Roundup, presented by Remax Realty. When you want to learn about real estate, listen here. And now the host of Roatan Real Estate Roundup, Russ, Regentz.
So good morning, everyone. This is Russ, Regentz, here with the Roatan Real Estate Roundup, powered by Remax. And I've got with me for the fourth part of our four-part series, Mr. Marek Vanura. Marek, good morning.
How you doing, Russ? Hi, everyone. How are you doing?
These are good days, sir. These are good days. We got a sunny one today. So as we referenced,
after a long time.
Hey, no joke. We referenced this is the fourth part of our four-part series that we've talked about, basically going from identifying builders, identifying land, all the way to now. So now you've built your home, you have your dream property. Now what do we want to talk about? What do we think about? So the first thing we want to talk about, obviously, is maintenance and upkeep. What do you think about that, Marek?
Yeah, correct. So congratulations, you have your dream home, and then you feel like everything is done, all the hard work is done. Well, not really. Remember, you're living on the island, so we have salt, we have bad weather, we have termites on the island. Unfortunately, we have pests. So you need to be prepared for all this. I have so many clients. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem. I have a weekend home up in the mountains in Czech Republic. I close it for a few months and then I come back and it's like nothing. It's like brand new, right?" You and I, we know very well that here on the island, it doesn't work that way. So you have to be prepared for all those things. So have someone, when you know you're not going to be here for a longer period, have someone that can check on the home, can open the windows so there is a natural airflow. Because, here, you lock the house for 1 month and you will be surprised in what condition you find the house after only 1 month. People don't know that. People, I didn't know it at the beginning either. I just left for 6 weeks of vacation to Czech Republic. And I came back and I was like, oh my God, what happened here? Is a war? You have all the geckos, you have termites, you have ants. You might have a leak that got inside. You keep all your drawers closed and then you open them and then all that smell and everything. It's normal. All right, guys, don't get stressed about it. It's something that it's normal here. If you prepare for it, you will have no issue. All right. So it's very important. Have your roof inspected before the rain season, so you don't get surprised with the rain. Especially this year, you see we're having so much rain, so much water. Make sure that you have someone that's checking on your house. Open the house, all the ventilation, so there is no humidity inside. Checking for termites is very important. So I will always suggest to my clients, get the spraying. There's plenty of companies on the island that they give you 1-year contract. They do the nice, good spray, and then they even dig under the ground. And then they come in regularly to check on your home. It's only a few $100 a year, but it will save your house. It will make your life easier. So all these things is very important to be prepared and to make the scheduling the right way.
Yeah. Well, I remember because we had about a 7 to 8 month period before we moved full time, but when our house was finished. And the one thing that I completely forgot about was guano from bats. And we had a very good friend of ours who's a born islander, and he would come over about once a week and just take a look, and everything was going great. And I told him, turn on all the ACs, make sure it's comfortable. And he would do all that. It was great until one day, about 3 months in, he went on the back deck and I get this picture of about that thick of guano. He goes, yeah, we might want to address this. I didn't even think about that,
Yeah, it's actually funny. This is, I think this is one of the biggest problems and fights and issues on the island. I remember the same thing when I was running a resort. We tried devices that make sound. We tried lights. We tried hanging CDs. We tried garlic. We tried so many things, and not it works maybe for a little bit and then it doesn't work again. But especially when you're not there, the bats, they like to be there because it's nice and quiet, nice and cozy, warm for them, and it's perfect. I remember it's actually a funny story. One of my friends was like, yeah, but the bats are good. They eat the mosquitoes and all the flies.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what? Did you see the seeds where they're hanging? Don't mind all the bad shit, but the seeds and everything. These bats we're having on the island, they're fruit bats. They don't eat mosquitoes. They don't eat bugs or anything. They eat fruits. They eat your limes, your guavas, your seeds and everything, but no mosquitoes, guys.
I'm not complaining. All we had to do was we actually ended up buying, we have two very high peaks on our back deck, and we bought just a little motion detector light, $7, $8 on Amazon, and put it right there. And that worked great. Now, it's a pain when you got to go up there and change that battery, but it's okay. It's actually worked. So that's been good.
Actually,
right,
works very well.
Yeah.
You know what works very well? I have a few clients, they're using, do you know that the spiky tree with all the ends with the thorns on it? That one you cut, you let it dry, you hang it there. The bats hate it because they get cut their wings all the time flying around.
Well, that's a good point. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Natural remedies. I love it. It's part of it.
It's for free. It's growing right there.
All right. We've talked about this. There's not much to really kind of chime in more. This next bullet was, access to utility and services. You make sure you're cleaning your cistern, things like that, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's very important. So first, with your power, so have an easy access for the guys from Record to come and then to read your meters on a regular basis. If you're in a development or you're buying water from somewhere, again, have the meters secured the right way, have them protected so there's no mud coming in, and then you have an issue with the main valve and everything. That's something, it's very important. If we forgot to mention it, when your build is done, don't know where all the valves, all the security shutoffs are. So when you need them, and you might need them once a year or not even, so where these things are. When something happens, you know exactly where to go, or you have a right instruction written for whoever is taking care of your house. It's very important. Maintaining of the water,
point.
Have access to your water tank. You'll be surprised how many homes on the island have a terrible access to the water tank. They're like, yeah, why do we need to access to the water tank? I say, yeah, you're collecting rainwater. It's a lot of dust, dirt, stuff. You'll be surprised how much crap you can collect in only 1 year in your cistern. And then imagine you drinking the water, even though you're using all the filtration, UV and everything, but still, guys, be prepared to clean your cistern on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's a great point, and you're absolutely right. That's a really good point. All right, so the next thing, obviously we are where we are geographically, but make sure your insurance and your natural disaster preparations are all ready to go. So if we do happen to get that hurricane, knock on wood, we don't, or even an earthquake, make sure you fully understand how everything works and where everything is, right?
Correct. So again, we should know all these things, and we should ask about all this before your build, so you prepare for it. Because if you're building on a steep place, on a long post, so if your house is stable and everything, it's important. That's why I always tell my clients, like, go and when you buy the property, when it rains, go and see how is the natural water flow. So you're not surprised. You're not getting water inside your house. You're not getting your bodega, your storage flooded. Because, if that amount of water what we were having right now, you'll be surprised how many people they're having a water issue. Be prepared for it. If there is a natural water flowing, it's sometimes very hard to change it. But there are guys. The guys on the island here, they work very nice with these rocks, the island rocks, and they will move the natural water and then try to move it around your house the right way. So think of all these things so you're not surprised when the strong wind comes. Have your windows secured, have showers or something, especially when you're on the north side of the island. You'll be surprised we know that, but you guys will be surprised how much different it is when we get the few of the northerns, when the cold front comes and you're on the north side of the island. compared to the south side. Sometimes I haven't called with my friends in Czech village. I live in Punta Blanca. They're like, oh yeah, the weather is not so bad. It's a little overcast, but it's okay. I'm like, yeah, it's like end of the world right here. It's strong winds, rain, and everything. And they're like, no, it's not too bad here. I'm looking outside. I say, well, come to my house and you will see what's happening here. So, it's important to know all these things and be prepared for it.
Well, and it's funny, to your point, I'll give a shout out to Vernon Albert. So we are on a hill. We're on a significant slope. And the very first rainy season, we saw a good amount of erosion underneath our piers and on our pilings. So I had called him up when we got back. We moved here, and I said, hey, I need you to come out, take a look, tell me what you think. Well, one of the problems we have we're on the west side, so we have that red dirt that really is not very good for growing. And he made a great observation. He said, why don't we put 3 or 4 rock walls over here on this side, slow the water till the water retains in that red dirt, and it makes it a much more amenable environment to grow. Brilliant idea. So we did. We put 4 rock walls in, and now we're actually growing plants in those tiers. The other thing he did is he created a brilliant, about a 2.5 foot high rock wall. It looks great. I mean, aesthetically, it's beautiful, in the front of our house, and it takes water and runs it out to the open lot next to us. And the very first rainy season that he did all that, I actually went underneath our house just to see, and it was bone dry. All that water was moving out, and he just did a great job. So to your point, shout out to Vernon Albert. He did a great job for us. But there was a lot of those guys on this island that really understand water flow, and water's powerful. You really want to be careful and take care of that.
Definitely. And then, and I forgot to mention it. So again, have insurance, so definitely. You are prepared for all these things. You watch for it. You count on that. But again, we are on a Roatan, Honduras, but we do have insurance, guys. You'll be surprised. There is a few companies. They work very well. Back home, we all have the houses insured. I think it's even mandatory in Czech Republic by law that you have to have some basic insurance if anything happens. So again, we know all these guys here. We can suggest you where to go, how to fix it. The coverage is pretty good. Unfortunately, I had to deal with some of the situation where we had to use insurance, and they were pretty well. I was surprised. It was actually faster than in Europe, in Czech Republic. I was like, I would never expect that speed, and the money arrived to my account very quick with no issues.
Right. I think you're absolutely right. And again, kind of a shout out to Arlie Thompson's company, his son Brennan, and of course, Ken Wilt. Those are some of the main agents here on the island, and they do a great job. They really do. We've been very pleased. All right. So let's talk about, we got 2 more bullet points. Let's talk just briefly about security and accessibility. You want to have both, right?
Correct. So again, it's very easy these days on the island how many projects we have, developments that you have a security guards, you have maybe a fence in or kind of like a fence in. So you feel safe, you feel like back home. But there is a lot of nice properties that you don't have inside the development. So again, you come to the point, how do I secure my property when I'm there and when I'm not there? So for sure, these days it's so easy, guys. I mean, on Amazon, you can buy any type of security cameras. You can connect everything to the phone. You have your internet there, so you can receive alarms or notification when something moves. Or it's kind of a pain in the ass before you figure it out. So getting 100 notifications a day, believe me, that you want to throw that phone away. But once you figure it out, it actually works pretty well. We have security companies, you have alarms, their response is pretty good. But again, depends on what part of the island you are. So ask questions, see what your neighbors are using. So it's going to take a while. It's not going to be right straight away. You're going to know, and then you're going to make the right decisions. But, count on that. Be prepared that it's not only all the house is done and I put few rebars or metal bars on my windows. That'll be okay. No. Be prepared. I'm not saying it's dangerous here. It's super safe. This island, believe me, guys, Roatan is super safe. But you always have guys walking around and they got paying attention. They're like, oh, I like that shiny thing hanging there, So it's normal. That will happen anywhere in the world. So just be
Very
prepared.
True.
And, it's better to be prepared than to be sorry later.
Amen. Well, and the other thing, I will add a side note on that about security. Especially if you're not here frequently and using, say, an alarm system, write down your code or your password, because I will be the first one to admit the first trip that I made here without my wife with me, I completely forgot to write it down. I open the door, the alarm goes off, and I don't have the password. So the guys at Bulldog were great. They came over and they verified my identity, which was no problem, and they shut it off. But I tell you what, that alarm is loud.
Yeah, well, believe me, Russ, the only one happened to me too. And the Boulder guys were very surprised that I was watching the house with my friend, and they were like, the owner.
They do a great job. All right, so our last piece we'll kind of touch on regulations. Local community, local regulations. As you referenced, there are some homes out here that are inside of communities that have structured regulations. There are other communities or other homes that are out in the middle of nowhere, so they really apply to local municipal registrations or regulations. You really want to make sure you understand all of them, though, right?
Correct. Again, it's like in any other country in the world. So make sure you know when to pay your property tax. Yes, we do pay property tax here, guys. It's very cheap. That's a good thing, but we do have to pay them. It's always better at the beginning of the year where you get discounts before when you pay the first 2-3 months, depending on which municipality you are at. But all these things you can go in and ask. All right. So make your calendar, Google Calendar, whatever, and have these things when to pay what. So you're not caught surprise. You don't get fines for no reason. Understand the laws. Understand when you are inside the community. Again, HOA. Understand what all you have to pay and when. Ask the community, because most of the time when you pay everything at once for the whole year, you get discounts there too, so you don't have to pay monthly. So, but it's flexible. But again, be prepared. Have everything planned the right way. So it's very easy to be sitting on your terrace watching the sunset, drinking the rum, and forget about everything. But there is a little responsibility still that we have to pay attention to.
And like you said, I like the way you put it. It's no different than whatever country you're coming from or you have another home. It just takes time. And my dad always used to laugh because he's a snowbird. They spend time up north in the United States, and then they spend time in Florida. And he always called it getting your house dialed in. So make sure you'll live in your house, get everything done. Make sure you know where your shutoffs are, your breaker box, the community around you. It's just living in it and giving it time. And it just customizes it. So yeah, it's great.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you very much. Marek, as always, this is our last piece in our 4-part series. This has been a pleasure talking with you these for a couple weeks. Thank you very much for joining us. Everybody, this is Marek Vanura. He is one of the top agents here on the island with RE/MAX. He's excellent. So when you have a couple of questions, feel free to reach out to him.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Russ, and all your team that we were able to do this. It was actually fun. I feel sad that we are already over, but I'm glad that we did all this maybe basic information for someone, but maybe really good information for some other listeners. Again, I just want to give you guys, we are here. You know where to find us in RE/MAX. We have a great team. Every one of us knows something different. So come, if you have a doubt, you don't know something, come to us, reach out, ask questions. We are more than happy to help you.
Well, that's great. And, and I think, one of the things that I've enjoyed working with the RE/MAX team, as you said, it is collaboration. Sitting in meetings, listen to you all, how you all bounce ideas off each other. So not only are you bringing the power of a global powerhouse like RE/MAX, you're actually getting folks who live here, who have gone through the exact thing you are going through, whether it's purchasing your home, building your dream, or when you're ready to make that decision. You've got a lot of people here that they work as a unit and a team, and they really do provide a lot of value to help your dream really come to reality. So again, Marek, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
So this is Russ Regentz, and this has been the Roatan Real Estate Roundup. Again, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening. Remember, when you come to Roatan, one of the best ways to see the island and its beauty is a real estate tour. Reach out to RE/MAX. Listen next week at this time for the Roatan Real Estate Roundup on Blue Wave Radio.